Have you ever seen Brussels sprouts growing? These might not be the best example, but that's kind of what they look like. I've never grown Brussels sprouts before, but I've certainly eaten quite a few, and I've always enjoyed that, so I thought I'd give it a try when I saw them for sale as sprouts at the nursery this last spring. Tried growing them in several different environments. Most of them really didn't do well here in the yard. Discovered there are these little white moths that are incredibly attracted to any and all cabbages, and Brussels sprouts are a member of the cabbage family. Normally I'm happy to try anything I've grown, but I'm just not going to go there with these. However, for interest's sake, I thought I'd show you just what we've got here, and take a look at the Brussels sprout plant that I've got here, and just talk a little bit about how it grows. I've never grown Brussels sprouts before, so this is definitely the best job I've ever done, but I'm still going to classify this as a big fail for this year. That doesn't mean I'm not going to try again next year. That just means I'm going to go about things completely different. Brussels sprout has been a very interesting plant to watch grow over the last few months. Forms in the little cabbage heads that I think we're all quite familiar with. And those heads just grow up the stalk of the plant, as you can see here, and form at the base of the leaves. When grown properly, which again I emphasize this was not, they can produce up to 3 pounds of these Brussels sprouts per plant, sometimes numbering over 100 individual sprouts per plant. Now these are wonderfully good for you, high in fiber, lots of vitamin A, lots of vitamin C. Certain foodies suggest that Brussels sprouts might even help prevent certain cancers. I can't prove any of that, but I find it very interesting. Let's take a closer look at this plant. As we get closer and take a better look, it'll soon become quite obvious why I'm not going to eat this plant. As you can see, it's covered with little bugs. And I'm just of the school that there's not enough cleaning to make that safe to eat. I'm not quite sure what those little bugs are. We tend to think aphids, but I haven't looked it up. One of the things that went terribly wrong with our Brussels sprouts this year is that all the leaves seemed to brown and kind of fall off into the ground, which I suspect is why these particular sprouts are so stunted. But as you can see, they grow in amongst the leaves right on the stem. And the top of the plant very much reminds one of a cabbage, which makes sense because again, they're a member of the cabbage family. One thing that's kind of interesting about the Brussels sprouts is you don't have to harvest the whole stalk at once. If you just want a few off the bottom, assuming of course they're healthy to eat, you can just pluck off the ones you want, and the rest of it will continue growing. I'm just going to harvest these and find out how many I got for curiosity's sake. Well, that may not be a lot, but considering how stunted they are, and the fact that it's from a single plant, that's not bad. And more than enough to feed the average family, considering kids don't usually like them. On that note, with a little cheese sauce, I think these things are fantastic. Aside from all those moths, which I was completely not prepared for, I think one place I went terribly wrong with these guys this year was just too much water. Apparently Brussels sprouts do like a nice soil. It's got a good moisture content, something like compost that'll really hold the moisture well, but at the same time they want to be fairly well drained. I'm not sure a flooded wicking bucket is the place to grow these. I'll definitely be growing these again next year, trying a few different systems for it, making sure their soil drains better. trying to keep those bugs away. This has been JT Bear at Clean Valley Farms with trying to grow Brussels sprouts. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.